We're scheduled to start the first of three mass starts with the men's here at 3:45. I'm not sure if we're holding that time or not, but I know that the skaters are gathering inside the oval, getting organized. We have three races today. Three races. We have one senior race, which is 16 laps around, and we have two junior races, 10 laps around. In the first mass start, we'll have 12 racers. And then there'll be 16 racers in the second one and 15 racers in the third one. Well, hi everybody, welcome back. It's 3:43 Alberta time. We're scheduled to start the men's mass start here shortly. You're just seeing a picture of the ice surface right now. They're just sorting the mass starts out. I'm just getting a new competitor list for. Okay, so the first race I mentioned there was 12. There's going to be 10 racers. So let me explain. Here's what's happening. We have mass start. And the mass start is basically, it involves more than one skater, more than two skaters. In this case, the first mass start will be 10 skaters. And they'll be facing off one another all at the same time. And basically it's a mad dash to complete 16 laps. Looks like that's Dave Thompson, the chief referee, out on the ice. And so it's a mad dash to complete 16 laps, the fastest. And, you know, as you can imagine, it'll probably get a little crowded and crazy out there. And it becomes basically the closest thing you'll ever see to a roller derby on ice. Sometimes people think it's so chaotic and exciting, they even refer to it as NASCAR on ice. Yesterday, we had the women's, and we had such a disparity of in terms of the speed skaters. We had seniors and juniors on the ice, so they were spread out. So there really wasn't a whole scrum fighting it out at the time, and so you know it was a polite race, and I don't think I did a very good job calling that race as well. So we've got evenly matched skaters in three mass start races, and this is going to be. I hope this is going to be fun for you and fun for me, and certainly fun for them. There'll be no points awarded, but there is points at the World Cup level. And so it can get very crazy and very chaotic. It could be because they're jockeying for position, especially during sprint laps. So in this case, the senior group has 16 laps, and I'm not, the skaters are getting ready, so they're not yet on the ice. But basically the way it's going to work in 16 laps in the mass start is that the first of the 16 laps is basically a polite lap. It's a controlled lap. Everybody skates around together at the same time. And then after that, you have three regular laps, and then a bell goes off. Or actually, a gun goes off after the first lap, and then the skaters will just round the oval until they hear the bell, and then there'll be a sprint lap. And what they want to do is cross the line, the first three skaters cross the line and get points. And they'll have, in a 16-lap race, 16 three sprint laps, and then the final lap, which of course is a sprint lap. So what's the strategy? Well, basically mass starts are almost a combination of short track and long track together, and both strategies. Sometimes they'll speed up and bait skaters. Other skaters they'll slow down and they'll preserve energy. Others will will skate behind other skaters in order to preserve energy because of the draft that they're getting. And so it can be very exciting, especially if they're inside a scrum. So I expect some jostling. The more skaters they have on the ice, the more jostling it is. But in this case, there will be 10 skaters on the first one, and they should be fairly evenly matched. So the mass start men's, the first of 3 races, is coming up. So the skaters are getting organized right now on the inside of the oval, and they'll end up eventually starting from the middle, or basically where the 1,000 meter finishes. It'll be the middle of the first straightaway. That's where they'll start. So in this grouping, in this 10, you've got Jack Dybert from Alberta, Augie Herman from the US of A, Craig Miller from BC, Thomas Milin from France, Eric Orlowski from BC, Emile Hodzak-Santa from Ontario, Joel Simpson from Manitoba, Zachary Lacroix from Alberta, Ryan Gibson from Ontario, and Sebastian Champagne. So I heard a whistle. Let's see where we're at. Looks like we're still sorting out the mass start. The first of 3. There'll be 10 competitors in this senior mass start. 16 laps around. The first lap will be an all-in-one grouping. A very polite lap. They may go faster than a speeding marble. We'll find out. After that, it doesn't get so polite. The gun will go off, and they'll start jockeying for position until the bell lap, which is a sprint lap. We'll see 4 sprint laps in a 16-lap mass start race. 10 skaters. I'll introduce the skaters once they start to make their way to the ice. Well, while we're waiting, why don't we have a little fun? See if you can guess some of the themes to these songs. These TV themes. TV shows of the past and had theme songs. See if you can guess some of these. If you guessed Gilligan's Island, you are right. What about this one? It's almost a dead giveaway. That one's a little hard to hear, but that's Happy Days. What about this one? If you guessed Bonanza, you're right. Good job. How about this one? You gotta like puppets on this one. Oh, I don't think you can hear that one. Let's try this one. Breakout music, breakout show for John Travolta. If you thought welcome back, you are right. How about this one? Well, even though you can't hear the words, you can get the melody. That is the Brady Bunch. How about this one? If you said Get Smart, you are right. I don't think they play this cartoon on the TV anymore, but how about this one? If you guessed Roadrunner, you are right. How about this one? We're getting close. If you said Rawhide, I got one more. Check this one out. Well, that's Grease, ladies and gentlemen, by Frankie Valli. All right, passing a little time. Let's get settled in here. I think you can hear me on the YouTube feed. You can hear me in the Oval. We're about to start the first of 3 men's mass starts. We have, I believe, 9 skaters on the ice. Introducing, well, I'll list out the skaters. They're heading down to the 500-meter start mark with the referee Dave Thompson, but they work their way back to the middle, and that's where they will start. Let's count how many are on the ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skaters. Okay, they're getting instructions. Our 12-pack of skaters is now down to 7. Here are the competitors for this 16-lap race. And they're lining up 1 meter apart, 1 row of 6. Maybe there's 1 row of 3 or 4 in another row, but there'll be 2 rows. Jack Dybert representing Alberta. Thomas Moulin representing France. British Columbia, Eric Olowski.
Emil Hodzak Santa from British Columbia. Joel Simpson from Manitoba. Zachary Lacroix from Alberta. Ryan Gibson from Ontario. Dybert, Milan, Orlowski, Hodzak Santa, Simpson, Lacroix, Ryan Gibson. NASCAR on ice, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. 16 laps. First lap is a quiet go around at the same pace lap. After that, the gun will go off again at the start, and then after the first lap, and then there'll be a bow lap, and we'll have 4 sprint laps, 3 during the race and the final one. 16 laps around, senior men. Gentlemen, let's see some action out there. Fun race. Here we go. And they're off. Look at them go. Look at the speed at these skaters. Faster than a speeding marble. Quicker than a flushing toilet for this first lap around the oval. And look at, they're even going in the inside lane. They don't even want to use the other 2 lanes. Look at that, just gliding in the letter S, taking their time, minding their own business. So far it's even Steven for the 7. It really doesn't matter at this point. They're just kind of getting their jitters out of the system. And I know they're all friends, and I know they're all competitors, but let's see what happens when now the gun goes off. So we've got Dybert in the first position, Milan in the second position, and Orlowski. Well, we'll have a look here to see who's the current positions. So Dybert, Milan, and then Orlowski in the top 3 positions. Right now, they're just really doing a whole lot of nothing. They're just staying within the pack. But that's what I want to see, a little bit of NASCAR jostling on the ice here. But they're staying in the inside, but you notice now they're picking up a little speed. So somebody's starting to set the pace a little bit here. I think that's Dybert, if I can tell from this vantage point. There they go. They're going down the back stretch, just minding their own business. And let's have a look. Basically a little peloton. And, you know, some of the racers on the inside of that train are benefiting because they're not exerting much energy. So let's have a look here. Who are the top 3? Milan, Orlowski, and Hodzak. And the bell went off, and that is a sprint lap. So, boys, you could start sprinting anytime. The top 3 across the finish line in the sprint lap gets points. 3, 2, and 1. 3 for first, 2 for second, first for third. The points don't mean much, but okay, here's who's crossing the line. 9, 6, and 4. So we've got Gibson and Hodzak and Milan. Okay, they're still in a pack of 7, but you've got Gibson and Hodzak just separating themselves just slightly from the pack. So we are in a 16-lap mass start race. We got 11 laps to go. We are 8 laps in. So a couple more laps. All right, so 9, 4, and, well, what do we got? We got Gibson and Hodzak, Milan, and it looks like Milan and Orlowski. Well, I'll just finish it off. Dybert, Lacroix, and Simpson. So first of all, this is anybody's race. Nobody's really running away with it at this point in time. Maybe they're polite. Maybe they had a talk before the race. But this may change. This will change, actually, because the competitive juices will fly. So that is basically, we are 10 laps to go, or 6 laps in. This next lap coming up will be a bell lap, which will signal a time for sprint lap number 2. So Hodzak Center is in the first position, Ryan Gibson in the second position, and Thomas Milan from France in the third position. All right, here we go. We're going to have a bell lap now. This is the sprint lap. This is where they step it up. So let's see. Are they going to go around together in a pack of friends? Or is somebody now going to set the pace and go outside the pack? So who do we have? Orlowski is leading the charge with Dybert, Hodzak, Santer, Gibson, Meeline, Lacroix, and Joel Simpson. Let's see who's going to cross the line here in a 3-2-1 position in terms of points. Now they're picking it up here. So the order has now changed. Orlowski is now taking the lead with Hodzak Santer. He overtakes him. Dybert's moved up from about the 6th position. Gibson's holding in the middle of the pack. Joel Simpson's moved from the 7th position to the 6th position. So Gibson, Hodzak Santer, Meeline, Orlowski, Simpson, Dybert, and Lacroix. Now they sit back, relax, grab a coffee, take their time. They are picking up the pace, but they'll pick it up a bit more. That is 2 sprint laps in with 2 sprint laps to go. Imagine this race with 24 skaters in a pack. That's the potential of mass starts. Those are fun races. And basically, you're drawing on your ability as a short tracker and a long tracker. 2 skill sets here. So we are six laps. Yeah, we're 10 laps into the race with 6 to go. So they're basically preserving energy. If you notice, they looked like Joel Simpson was standing up there for a moment. Maybe he was having a chat with one of his peers. But we're coming up to another bell lap, which is another sprint lap. So the way it works, if they were actually keeping points, is you would get 3 points for first in a sprint lap, 2 in a second, 1 for a third. But when you get the whole enchilada, well, I'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, we've got Gibson, Orlowski actually. Now, Dybert's already come all the way from the bottom of the pack to the 2nd position. So Orlowski, Dybert, Hodzak, Santer, Meeline, Lacroix, Ryan Gibson, and Joel Simpson. So there's the 3rd sprint lap right now. It doesn't look like they're sprinting a whole lot because, of course, speed skating's like that. Effortless with proper technique. Okay, we got a 5, 1, and 6. So Orlowski, Dybert, Hodzak Santer. Now, I was saying you can get points along the way, but what you want is you want to be crossing the finish line first, second, or third, because 60 points for first place, 40 for second, and 20 for third. So if you're jockeying for position in your sprint laps, you're really positioning yourself for 4th. The reality is you want to come across the line first. Okay, what do we got left? All right, now they mean business. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Dybert has come from all the way at the back of the pack. Now he's leading the charge. Orlowski is right on his tail. Meeline is right in there along with Lacroix. You want to look at the top 3 racers right now. And right now it's Dybert, Orlowski, and Meeline. We have 2 laps to go. We will have a bell lap to finish, and that will be the final sprint lap. Now you're seeing the skaters spread out. And basically, it's all sprint from this point forward. So it's a 600-meter sprint or a 500-meter sprint. That's what it is now. In their minds, the last 500 meters. So Dybert, followed by Orlowski and Meeline. There you go. That's the order. How's it going to finish? If Orlowski has a say, he's going to want to catch Dybert as they round the turn. Oh, and Orlowski almost fell on the turn. He'll lose some time on that, and that may just, in fact, cost him the race. In fact, he may even hurt his hand. In fact, he did hurt his hand. So Orlowski, actually, I got Orlowski and Dybert confused. I think Dybert almost slipped and fell. Dybert may be hurt. Orlowski in the 1st position. Dybert 2nd. Meeline 3rd. Lacroix 4th. Oh, we got Hodzak Santer 4th. Lacroix 5th. So in the points, from the points perspective, Orlowski takes the total points, followed by Dybert and Miline for top 3 points, and then Hodzak, Santer, Lacroix, and Gibson. So they award points for the top 6 finishes. Now it seems like a lot because there's only 7 skaters, but oftentimes there's 24 skaters in this. Okay, that was a little more excitement to finish off the day. But Dybert was, in his final corner, slipped and grabbed the ice, and I'm wondering if he hurt himself. Anyway, that was a fun race. That is the mass start for the seniors, 16 laps. We now switch gears and go to the mass start for the juniors, the first of 2. As the first grouping leaves the ice, I believe they have the second grouping ready to go. When they get on the ice, I'll introduce those skaters. Well, do you want to continue our little game of music here? Let me try a different one for you. All right, looks like we're going to get started here to have the second of our 3 mass starts. Okay, if you count with me, I believe there should be 16 skaters on the ice. Well, the referee is sorting them out, and they're going to be putting them in lanes 1 meter apart, so he'll sort that out. So he'll sort that out there. We're at the 500-meter start. And then when they get to the middle of the ice at the 1,000-meter finish, that's where we'll start it. So let me introduce our competitors. In lane 1, from Saskatchewan, Bon Lo. Lane 2, or rather, let's just say helmet 1. Yeah, helmet cover number 13. Let's start this again. Number 13 from Saskatchewan, Bon Lo. From Alberta, helmet cover 14, Jalen Doan. From Saskatchewan, helmet cover 15, Danielle Pauly. Number 6, helmet cover 16 from Saskatchewan, Keegan Waddington. Helmet cover 17, Ian McPeak from Manitoba. Helmet cover 18 from Saskatchewan, Luca Veeman. Helmet cover 19 from Saskatchewan, Liam Dallaire. Helmet cover 20 from Alberta, Matthew Medlicott. Helmet cover 21, Alberta, Daniel Hall. Number 22, Yang Kun Zhao. Number 23, helmet cover, BC, Herrick Hoheim. And it's confirmed, 16 racers. Helmet cover 24 from Manitoba, Ethan Vandenberg. Helmet cover number 25, Ben Rutledge from Manitoba. Helmet cover 26 from Saskatchewan, Fergus English. From Manitoba, wearing helmet cover number 27, Ryan Kulbacki. And last, to round out the 16, helmet cover number 28, from Manitoba, Adam Buchwald. This is a 10-lap race. Really 9 laps, because the first lap is a courtesy lap. So the first lap, they'll travel as a group. After that, the gun will go off, and then they start to skate like they can until the sprint laps, and then they turn up the heat. 1 meter apart, 3 lanes, 16 skaters. Take it away. Let's have some fun. NASCAR on ice here at the Calgary Olympic Oval. I don't think this group knew what to do when the gun went off. May as well just grab a deck of cards, you guys, and a cup of coffee and enjoy the first lap, because that scrum's going to change. Lots of Manitoba skin suits out there, lots of Saskatchewan skin suits out there. There's Alberta being represented, and, of course, British Columbia. Let's see what happens. What do you think they're saying to each other? What do you think they're talking about out there as they head down the backstretch for this meaningless lap of courtesy here in the mass start? 10 laps, and here they come like a bunch of race cars here to start a NASCAR race. And once they get close to the starter, the gun will go off again. And ladies and gentlemen, before the gun, it's showtime. Looks like Kulbacki wants to take charge. And you've got Kulbacki in the beginning. And looks like Daniel Hall and Yang Kun Zhao. Those are the top 3 skaters right now. In a scrum they go in the inside lane. I don't know if you want to tell them or not, but there is 2 other lanes that they can skate on. This oval is 13 meters wide. Okay, I think that a little different strategy for the juniors. They're going out a little quicker. Oh, look at them now. They're gliding like little flies around this oval, staying together like a pack. And where are we at? We've got a bell lap coming up, I believe, here. Here comes a bell lap. So as they round the turn down the front stretch, they know what's coming. It's called the bell lap, and they have to sprint. And look at that. They're starting to move early. And here it goes. There's the bell lap. Kulbacki's leading the charge right now, and Danielle Hall and Luca Vieman in a 1-2-3 pace. If that's a sprint lap, then I hate to see what a slow lap looks like. This is the first of 3 sprint laps. Okay, now they're picking it up. Now they're making it interesting. Somebody's making a move. Somebody's making a move. That person is Liam Dallaire. He's made the move. Jalen Doan says, "Nuh-uh, I'm not letting you get out of my vision." And here comes Daniel holding 3rd position. Luca Vieman 4th. Yang Kun Zhao 5th position. You got Fergus English in there. And you got Danielle Pauly. Those are the 7. Now they've slowed down, but they're jockeying for position. Kulbacki and Buchwald, it looks like. Okay, they've had a conversation before this race. There's no question about it. So now they're jockeying for position. They're leading the charge. This is going to be exciting. This is already exciting. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. We've got a bell lap coming up here. So that means that we'll be 7 laps into this race with 3 to go. And there is the bell lap and 4 to go. Okay, Daniel, lots of jockeying for position in the top 3 positions. Daniel Hall is in there. Ryan Kobacki and Adam Buchwald in the 2nd and 3rd position. You got Liam Dallaire in there. Okay, this is going to be interesting. This is the sprint lap. So now they're staying together, and that's a smart thing to do. Who inside that pack is conserving energy? Because you don't know who's playing possum out there. You don't know. So Daniel Pauly is taking the lead. Danielle Hall is in 2nd. Bonlow 3rd. Kobacki, McPeak, Medlicott, and Dallaire round out the last 4 positions. But these positions mean nothing at this point because it's about to go full out. They know that there's 3 laps in with 2 laps to go, and it looks like Jalen Doan says, I'm going to run away with this. So there's the pack, and there's Jalen Doan. So there's a strategy here. He must have been conserving energy. So here he goes. So it's about a 600-meter race now from this point forward. We are about to get a bell lap. 500 meters to go. Can Jalen Doan hold it without anybody causing to drop it? Look at that. Here comes the rest of the group. Here we go. Bell lap. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 400-meter sprint in this mass start. 10 laps to go. It's all out now. Doesn't matter about the pack. This is it. It's all out. I haven't been keeping track of who's crossing. It looks like Buchwald. Is it Buchwald? All out. Here we go to the finish. Okay, crossing the line. Ian McPeak, Bon Lowe, and Daniel Pauly cross the line, followed by Daniel Hall, Luca Veman, and Adam Buchwald. And that is who crossed the line. We'll look at the photo finish for official results. That was exciting. So now they tabulate all the points together, and Ian McPeak gets the most points. He came out of nowhere. I didn't see McPeak on the leaderboard whatsoever. So I mentioned earlier, somebody had to be playing possum inside the pack. It had to be McPeak. Maybe that's his last name. He McPeaked and said it was time to go. Bon Lowe, 2nd most points. Daniel Pauly 3rd. Daniel Hall 4th. Jalen Doan 5th. And Liam Dallaire 6th. Gentlemen, thanks for putting on an exciting NASCAR on ice, knives on boots race for us here. Let's do it all over again with the 3rd and final mass start coming up. Well, I hope you're enjoying the races at home and the YouTube feed. That was exciting. That's kind of what I expect more of at a mass start. But I think the more racers you have on the ice and the closer they are in terms of time, the closer the race will actually be. That was a very good race. But each of them are pushing each of themselves. So as this group makes their way off the ice, we're going to have a 3rd and final group making their way back on the ice. Let's throw some music on for a moment for those in the oval. Actually, instead of doing that, I think this is a good opportunity to thank I think this is a good opportunity to thank those behind the scenes that have made this a very successful meet, starting with the meet coordinator, Greg Plenert, who coordinates everything, has been doing this for many, many years in a well-oiled machine, working alongside John Little, the IT specialist, and between the two of them, lead the charge. And what can be chaotic behind the scenes, but as far as the athletes go, they just show up and race, and the coaches show up and coach. Rona Hathaway, Dave Thompson, thank you very much for refereeing. Myron Perriman, Darren O'Donnell, Brad Bates, thank you for starting. Ron Jackson on results. Ashley Young, a couple of roles for Ashley Young when she's not teaching phys ed to a K-9 group. Photo finish and bell ringing for Ashley Young. Video and YouTube streaming, we've got Sean Ireland, Dustin Miller, and Leslie Cassidy. And our medics in the corners, Thomas Lee and Nash Badon. So that's the group behind the scenes, and there are others, and some just don't wish their names to be mentioned, but they're just as valuable. Okay, if my information is correct, and I believe it to be, you're now seeing, if you're watching the YouTube feed, you're watching the last grouping, and there'll be 16 skaters. So I'm not going to announce their helmet cover, I'm just simply going to mention who they are. So, representing Manitoba, Aaron Reel. From Alberta, Riley Vandenberg. Joshua Sutherland from Ontario. Phoenix Bauma from Ontario. Liam McKegg from Saskatchewan. Zachary Jensen from USA. Caleb Makowski from Saskatchewan. Mitchell Wessling from Alberta. Braden Kremenek from Alberta. Oscar Stack Makashu from Saskatchewan. Zachary Edelman from Alberta. Mateus Daniels from BC. Benjamin Konwicki from BC. Eric Kulbaki from Manitoba. USA. Alan Sai and Dino Laz from Alberta. So the skaters are getting instructions from, I believe, referee Dave Thompson. Okay, so instructions have been sorted out. They'll line up in 3 rows. This is a junior mass start race. There are 10 laps, really 9. The first lap is how you doing lap. They'll go around together after the first gun goes off, and then I'll explain later. Let's go. Let's get her going. And we're off. 10 laps. Okay, this is a relatively new group to this new race for them. This all-in-one group Somehow I don't think they got the email. They're supposed to stay within improper social distancing for their first lap. But here they go. So 10-lap race, now 9 to go, and now they're in a nice little scrum. And we've got Makashu in the first position. Aaron Real in the second position. And Sutherland in the third position. Okay, they're finishing up lap number 2. And so that means there are 8 to go. They're entering the third lap. When this lap is complete, the bell will go off and they will turn into a sprint lap. I think they thought maybe the first lap might have been the sprint lap, at least from our perspective. I'm not so sure there's lots of strategy going on here. And here we go, though. All right, well, look at Makashu. He says, you know what? I think I'm going to take control of this race. Can he sustain that for another 7 laps? Or another 6? Yeah, another 6 laps. 7 laps. So, this is a sprint lap. And they can dial it back now. So, Makashu is in the lead, followed by Sutherland, followed by Bauma. We are halfway through the race, 5 laps in this 10-lap race. We got Makashu, Sutherland, and Bauma holding in the top 3 positions. The scrum is no longer a scrum for 16 skaters, but it is for 5. And then there's another little scrum of 3. So without being in that scrum, it's much, much harder to conserve energy. So it's ideal to stay as close to a group of skaters as possible and then burst for the finish if you can. And here we go. We are in the second of 3 bell laps. 6 laps in, 4 to go. Makashu, Sutherland, and Bauma still holding in the top 3 positions. And right behind them is Aaron Real and Dino Alaz. Well, they're going to be feeling it now. Looks like Aaron Real has now decided to be part of the first pack, and he's now leading the charge. But between him and Dino Alaz and Makashu, looks like they're going to jockey for position. There's the 3 of them. They're right there on the screen as they round a corner and head down the straightaway. With 2 laps remaining, I see Makashu just kind of stood up. So he's benefiting a little bit from the 2 skaters in front. All right, so bell lap here with 1 lap to go. So Dino Alaz, Makashu, Aaron Real. Now it becomes a 400, now a 300-meter sprint. Dino Alaz is running away with it. Right now, Makashu is going to try and catch him, and so is Real. Let's see what happens. As they round the bend, here comes Alaz. Makashu's Oh, here comes Makashu. Is he going to catch him? Is he going to catch him? Makashu, rather. Elaz crosses first. Makashu, followed by Aaron Reel. And the rest of the 16 skaters. Very good race for these skaters, especially many of them might have been their first race at a mass start. So when you combine all the points, Dino Elaz would take the most points, followed by Oscar Stack Makashu, then Aaron Reel. Then we've got Liam Dallaire, Phoenix Bauma, and Joshua Sutherland. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes. That's day 3, the final day of the CanAm International Long Track Speed Skating Competition. It now goes into the history books. Thank you, fans, parents, organizers, athletes, officials, everybody involved. Great work. We'll see you next time. Good luck with the rest of your speed skating season.